Welcome to the Power of Peptides. I just want to do a brief, kind of high level overview of what all the peptides do so that you can start to get an understanding of what powerful tools these can be in our health journey. Just remember that everything shared in this presentation is meant to educate, encourage, and inspire healthier living. This information has not been evaluated by the FDA, and it's not intended to diagnose or treat or cure or prevent any disease, right? I'm not a medical doctor or a therapist. I am a naturopath. So always consult your trusted healthcare provider regarding your personal healthcare needs. And just a little bit about me, because everybody likes to know, did this work for you? And with 5 decades of life, I have navigated numerous health challenges and significant milestones along the way. And I have looked at both your conventional medicine and natural healing medicine methods, just because with conventional medicine, I wasn't really getting anywhere with my cervical dysplasia, with the reproductive issues. I went and saw specialists, and all of them, they took samples of tissue, and they told me, well, we'll basically just need to keep an eye on it, and I really didn't get anywhere. And then with Hashimoto's, just wanting to do medication, and I didn't want to take a medication for the rest of my life. So that pushed me to do that holistic shift, right? And I started adjusting my nutrition, my movement, my sleep, also looking at how I process stress and trauma. And so those changes actually allowed me to regain balance and really improve my well-being. I feel like I was very healthy. But then I started to deal with perimenopause, and along with that came lupus markers, extreme fatigue, vertigo. I watched my weight climb until it was 10 pounds above where I normally maintain. And I understand that 10 pounds is not really that big a deal, but it was very concerning to me that it was mainly visceral fat. I have a very fancy scale at the office that tells me how much muscle, how much fat, how much inflammation, and it looks specifically at visceral fat, which is that metabolically active belly fat that really can lead to some serious health risks if it just continues to grow, right? So I really wanted to figure out how to get rid of that 10 pounds, but I was already doing all the right stuff. I get regular sleep, I get regular movement, I have a clean diet. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years. And so I felt like I had a really good handle on doing the right stuff. But we even went a little bit further. So my husband was also having some of that midsection gain, right? And you get to that kind of midlife area, and all the rules change for some reason. And so we tried weekly 24-hour fasts for 4 months to try and reset our metabolism. We tried a very strict 28-day cleanse with no dairy, no sugar, no grains. And then we even tried a 3-day water fast, but the scale barely budged. I mean, we only saw maybe a pound or two difference. And so frustrated that I was doing everything right and still not seeing results, I started exploring my options and really turned to GLP-1s. And they proved to be the tool I was missing. Really, within just 4 weeks, that 10 pounds was gone. My inflammation decreased significantly. My digestion improved. My hot flashes were gone. The joint pain that I'd been kind of starting to feel in the knees was gone. And so now I'm back down to my normal. The visceral fat is down too. I made sure I was watching on the scale so that I wasn't losing muscle. I was only getting rid of that visceral fat. And it absolutely changed everything when I've been working for nearly 2 years, trying to do all the right things. To be completely transparent, a year and a half ago, I would have advised against GLP-1s because I was not educated. I really thought that if you just balance those wheels of health and those spokes, that everything, that's all you needed. But now, I mean, after going through 2 years of trying all of that stuff, I know that it's not true. And researching GLP-1s opened my eyes to that amazing potential of peptides. And so now I've done a complete 180, and I feel it is my responsibility to share what I found because it really did change my life, right? And I don't just teach these principles of balancing. I really do live them. I address the mind, the body, and the spirit as a whole. And I really help others do the same and find those tools that they need. And I have found peptides to be an amazing tool. Really, let's start with the big picture. Healthy today is hard because we are up against so many things that didn't even exist in the world 150 years ago. We've got poor food quality, toxins are everywhere, chronic stress. And then with our modern lifestyle, most of the time we're sitting and we get a huge amount of blue light, right? So we're dealing with stuff that we never had to deal with before. And so like me, you can be doing all the right things, but it's just not enough to move the needle. And that's where peptides come in. So it is amazing how when you add this one little thing that the body naturally produces, that we can really get that shift. So it's really not about trying harder in this crazy world. It's about having the right tools. So making sure that the foundations are good, that you're getting enough sleep, that you're eating right, that you're getting movement, that you do have a stress mitigation practice. But life is rarely as simple as that. And so now having these peptides to help regain balance is just, it's amazing. So what is a peptide, right? Peptides are small chains of amino acids, and that same building block of amino acids makes up protein. So a peptide is generally considered under 50 amino acids that have been chained together. And they consider it a protein if it's over 50 amino acids. So it becomes this message that they send to the body when you start chaining them together. And so the amino acids are like the letters in the alphabet, right? When they're arranged in a certain order, they form a particular word or sentence, right? And a peptide is a sentence, and a protein is maybe a paragraph. And your body knows exactly how to read that. They get the message and it knows exactly what to do. They aren't foreign to your biology. You have hundreds of peptides already running through your body. Here's a few real life examples. Insulin, it's 51 amino acids bound together. It helps regulate blood sugar. GLP-1, you've probably heard of. It helps control appetite and blood sugar balance, already made in your gut. Oxytocin is a peptide. It supports connection, bonding, trust. We hear about it mainly when we have children, and oxytocin is produced. That's a neuropeptide that's only 9 amino acids. Most people have also heard of collagen peptides. Those help support skin, joints, and tissue repair. Endorphins are peptides. They help reduce pain and create that feel-good sensation. And synthetic peptides, peptides that are made in a lab, have been around for a very long time. These aren't something new to the market. Insulin was first successfully used to treat type 2 diabetes in 1922, right? I mean, type 1 diabetes. The GLP-1s were first being used in the 90s. They were actually approved for official use in April of 2005. So peptides have been around for a very long time, and they have been used to send those messages and correct the messages that have been being sent to the body, right? Sometimes we don't even make a GLP-1, or we make very low levels. And so when you change that message, when the message gets changed and you kind of switch around those letters, you get a completely different meaning, right? You can take the letters in funeral and you can change it around to real fun, right? So you want to make sure that your body is getting that right message and the correct message. So what does a peptide look like, right? We've got those amino acids, but then when you actually get it at home, what does that look like? It can be a spray, it can be an injection, it can be a capsule, and then we've also got some stuff to support the use of those peptides as well. So it really depends on what you're doing and which peptide you're using as to which form. They don't all come in all three forms. It really depends on which peptide you decide to go with. So let's dive into the actual peptides themselves. This one is my absolute favorite because it really helps heal the gut. Research shows faster wound healing, less inflammation, better gut health, and quicker recovery from injuries. And BPC is actually created in our gut, and BPC stands for body protection compound, and it is just phenomenal, and it has grown in popularity because of that anecdotal data. There isn't a lot of data on people simply because, I mean, it's known for accelerating healing of tissue and bones, and no one wants to go, oh, yes, could you cut my tendon and see if this helps heal it faster? So a lot of the research has been done on animals just because of that. So BPC 157 really accelerates the healing of tissues and bones. It reduces inflammation. It can help the gut and digestive repair. It can help with joint, tendon, and muscle recovery. People report that it helps with injuries that they've even had for 10, 15 years. And there's some research suggesting that it may help regulate serotonin and the gut brain axis. So people report using it to reduce pain, to speed injury recovery, to calm gut inflammation, and to support the systemic healing, right? Bone healing. There was a study in current neuropharmacology that helped with inflammation in animal studies. There was another one in inflammopharmacology in 2020 that talks about gut health and protecting the gut mucosa. Side effects, everybody wants to know about the side effects. They're rare with BPC 157, but they can include fatigue, mild nausea, or soreness at the injection site. If you do experience them, they're usually brief and dose related. And so making sure that you're on the right dose when you're talking to your healthcare provider. So just knowing that it comes in a capsule and injection form, so both can be used. Another one for tissue repair is GHKCU. This one is amazing for skin. It's a copper binding peptide that your body already makes. It regenerates collagen and elastin. It repairs tissue, reduces inflammation. It can actually help with hair growth and skin firmness. So a lot of your middle-aged women, right, around my age, 50, are using it for skin tightening, hair strengthening, anti-aging repair. It can actually help with scar tissue repair. And then there are people that are experiencing hair regrowth. As long as that follicle is still there, it actually helps with hair regrowth. So it can switch on genes that are involved in healing and switch off pro-inflammatory genes in a study that was in Biomed Research International. Then the skin thinning and collagen loss associated with estrogen decline can really help in perimenopause. And so just a lot of skin, and this is lots of time called the beauty peptide, just because it helps with that scar, the skin, and hair growth. This is one of my favorite ones ever. We've actually taken that BPC 157 that I was talking about, and then the copper peptide GHKCU. We've combined it with TB500 and KPV, which are also healing and tissue recovery and anti-inflammatory. And so this one is designed to help with tissue repair, hair regrowth, better skin, anti-inflammatory, and gut healing, all in one injection. So the side effects on this one are probably more than any of the others, just because that copper peptide, they consider it a spicy injection. It can cause a little bit of stinging whenever you inject it. So just at the injection site usually, and that can last a couple of days even. So just be aware that the crazy things we do for beauty, right? This is one of those that can be a little bit stingy, but a lot of people continue to use it because of the effects that they see. So another fun one that we just came out with was melanotan 2. This one actually supports darker skin pigmentation, which if you're fair-skinned, can really be helpful for protection in this summertime. But it also helps with energy, satiety, which can help support the metabolism, and then desire and sexual arousal as well. So this one actually has a lot more to it than just that tanning. And then weight loss. This is the one that everybody knows about. Everybody knows that GLP-1 or the GLP-2, and now there's actually a GLP-3 in studies. This can come as an injection or drops. The injections are normally more effective, but a GLP-1 helps target the area of the gut and the brain that regulate appetite, helping you feel full longer. We actually have GLP-1 receptors all over our body, so it can help with targeting inflammation in the brain area and in the heart area. And so it can also not only help with weight loss, but there are heart protective benefits and brain protective benefits that people have been reporting as well. So this is a great one. And then we go one step further, and you can actually combine those with a B12 for more energy. You can do it with glycine for helping with better sleep and muscle protection, or you can put an L-carnitine in there for faster fat burning. So you can actually kind of make it your own on what additive that you add. We also have the growth hormone secretagogues. It's not safe to take an actual growth hormone. So how they've done that is come up with these growth hormone releasing peptides. It stimulates the body's natural production of growth hormone, and that supports fat metabolism, especially that visceral and abdominal fat. It will also enhance muscle repair and lean muscle maintenance and building muscle because of that growth hormone helping you to build muscle. It comes as a capsule and an injection. It also, lots of people report better sleep with this because we naturally secrete growth hormone when we're in that deep sleep and REM sleep phase. So because you're secreting the growth hormone, it can give you better sleep as well. Lots of people report boosting in energy from a mitochondrial effect. So it can actually help target that visceral fat. So reducing that midsection weight gain, especially during midlife for men and women. You can also get faster recovery from workouts. There's less soreness, but more tone. We talked about better sleep. And then there's supporting metabolism and maintaining muscle mass as we begin that midlife where we start to see muscle loss. This can really help keep your muscle, which is super important as we age, right? Visceral fat in men can actually lower their testosterone. So getting rid of that visceral fat is going to help them maintain testosterone, help them build muscle. It's going to enhance your workout recovery and just that anti-aging through improved cellular repair and hormone balance. Tesamorelin has been used for quite a while to specifically target visceral fat in HIV patients. So just a lot of say that you were almost to your goal and you just wanted to be able to go to the gym and work out, see more muscle. That's where this one is going to come in. It's going to really help get rid of that visceral fat and really improve that body composition. And then we also have a serum for skin. This has a bunch of stuff in it. It is a pharmaceutical grade serum, so you might experience a little mild redness or irritation, for a couple weeks, but that usually goes away. And then you've got all of this help with collagen and the elastin and helping the skin look younger because it does have topical GHKCU in it. It's got vitamin C, it's got hyaluronic acid, it's got niacinamide. It's just got all these great things in it. It doesn't happen overnight. Obviously, you can see in the picture here that this is after 2 years, but it really does help. Solank and CMAX are for brain health. So Solank works on the GABA system of the brain. It helps calm anxiety, allows you to focus because it calms that. You get that mental clarity. And then CMAX helps with more like those ADD type symptoms, right? And so it allows you to focus because it's just calming down all of those tabs that are open. Cmax also upregulates BDNF in the brain, which allows for new connections. So this is great when you're trying to learn something new. And they're both non-addictive. So that's a really great thing, because you're not worried about becoming addicted and having to have it. CMAX could also be helpful with like Parkinson's or brain injury or stroke victims. There's a lot of studies going on right now in that arena. The main side effect with this is just nasal irritation. And then CMAX also could cause a blood sugar elevation just temporarily. So that could be a problem for people with diabetes. So just kind of, you'll be talking with your doctor if you decide to do that. Both of these, though, are really helpful in focus. We also have another one called dihexa. So this was specifically created for Alzheimer's system and supporting the brain in that it improves memory and long-term cognitive health. This might also be helpful if you have a history of Alzheimer's, just being able to help support that brain health, right? So it can help with recall, short and long-term memory, both. It also helps support that cellular defense that protect against inflammation that are linked to the aging in the brain. But it also really supports neuron growth and the rebuilding of connections that are linked to the memory and the focus and the long-term cognitive health. So lots of options here. Dihexa is actually a capsule versus the nasal spray. So if the nasal spray was too irritating, then this might be easier to take. Thymosin alpha-1. This one has been described as a coach for the immune system, right? Whether your immune system is working too hard or it's not working at all and you're getting sick all the time, this seems to re-educate the immune system. Lots of people are reporting help with long COVID, with bacterial infections, with getting those colds and flu all the time, with chronic Lyme, with Epstein-Barr, with asthma, with allergies, just because this helps it re-educate. This shouldn't be used by someone who has a transplant, right? You don't want to be messing with the immune system when you're on those drugs that really suppress the immune system. So it can help with the autoimmune, especially. That's the part that is exciting for me. Just having dealt with some of those lupus markers, just re-educating the immune system. Side effects on this one, kind of the same as with all of them. You can get a little bit of irritation on the injection site. It usually doesn't last very long. And then we also look at longevity. LEMD actually started with longevity medicine because many people are interested in living their best life for as long as possible, not being one of the statistics that ends up in a assisted living home for 7 to 10 years, right? We don't want to go there. We want to live 100 healthy years. So NAD plus can be very helpful with that. It really helps your cells produce energy because it works at the mitochondrial function. It can actually help fix damaged DNA. Your body does normally make it, but because of aging in this environment that we talked about with all of the toxins and the food and our sedentary lifestyles, this really goes down pretty quickly as we age. So this can help with anti-aging. Tony Robbins actually calls this the master of longevity. But it can support brain clarity. It can enhance metabolism. Your cognitive function, exercise recovery because of that, hormone-related fatigue. There were some studies in circulation research that showed that it was good for heart health. It can help with perimenopause. There was a study in Nature Aging in 2021 that this helped with fatigue, brain fog, and that mitochondrial slowdown. There was another one in Cell Metabolism in 2019 that showed that NAD plus helped repair pathways and reduce your chronic inflammatory load. So lots of good things with this NAD plus as well. And this does come as an injection and as a nasal spray. GLP-1 microdose. So lots of people are familiar with the GLP-1 for your weight loss. But at a microdose level, which is just a really small dose, it can actually lower your inflammatory markers like high sensitive C reactive protein. It improves A1C scores. It can provide heart and brain protection benefits. It actually is being studied for the impact on addiction recovery right now. So people who are addicted to smoking, who are addicted to alcohol, who binge eat, who are actually addicted to food, this can be very helpful because it works on that dopamine reward response system. This can be helpful in regulating hormones and metabolism. There's also some people that are reporting that it's very good for PCOS, or as it's now called, the PMOS, right? It lots of stuff with reducing your inflammatory markers like the CRP and the IL-6. Just a lot of people saying that it's helping quiet that food noise, and so in that respect it can help lower your blood sugar, stabilize blood sugar, and then help with the A1C over the long term. And then we have MOTS-C. So this one really boosts energy at the mitochondrial level. It helps with metabolic flexibility so that you can burn fat or glucose more efficiently. It can actually help pull fat from the tissues so that you can burn it. It helps improve the body's response to insulin, and it can even give you like the side effects of exercise. It's so that can help with physical performance. Even though you didn't exercise, it can be the results in your body can be as if you did exercise. It's kind of what people are seeing. Side effects, it can disrupt the sleep if taken too late in the day. And also when you first start taking it, because it is helping with that metabolic flexibility, there can be a week or so of adjustment where you do kind of feel more tired than usual. But if you just stick with it, then people have reported that it really does boost the energy after that. We also have quite a few products for sexual health, right? You get that in middle age and libido goes down. There are some really great things. There's the thrill pill, there's the Elate spray, and then there's an injection. They're a combination of compounds that work together. You can get the PT141 all by itself, or with like the thrill pill and the Elate spray, they're pairing it together with Tadalafil, which increases blood flow. PT141 actually fires up desire, and then there's oxytocin in there as well for deepening connection and bonding. It's going to help work through your nervous system, not your hormones, and so it can help men and women. Some of the side effects can be like a flushing or a headache or nausea. It's almost always dose dependent, and it usually goes away after you've used it a couple of times. So just know that, if you get some nausea with the first one, it's probably not going to help with your sexual desire, but it's probably going to go away if you continue to use it. So we've also introduced hormone replacement therapy. So when you are menopausal and you know what hormones you need, then LEMD now has some stuff available that is going to be very helpful with treating that hormone replacement. So that can work in tandem with these peptides. We've also got a few other products that are available. We've got a D-sip for sleep. This is like if you have trouble sleeping and you don't stay asleep for very long, maybe you take something to go to sleep at night. This doesn't just put you to sleep. It actually improves your deep sleep and your REM sleep cycles so that you actually wake up rejuvenated and rested. B12 injection and methylene blue caps, both of those are for energy. We also have glutathione. Glutathione is the main antioxidant for our liver and all of the 500 things that it does. So it can help neutralize free radicals. It can improve detox pathways. It can help reduce inflammation, support the immune system, all because it's helping the liver do its job better. We also have a protein shake that is wonderful for getting enough protein when you're on one of those GLP-1s. And then lots of people respond that the methylene blue helps with brain energy specifically. So lots of little stuff to support that. So real quick, I just like to go into some frequently asked questions so that we can kind of answer those before we get together. So many peptides have been studied for decades. So when I hear, is it safe? We don't know that for sure, obviously, but they've been like insulin's been around for over 100 years. GLP-1s have been around for 30 years. BPC 157's been around for 30 years. They're naturally occurring in the body. And the safety depends on your quality, your dosing, and your medical oversight. If you're getting your peptides from the gray market and there's been no testing on there, those probably aren't safe. LEMD, we are guided by licensed providers. They do third-party testing on everything that goes into these to make sure that it is clean and it is what it says it is. It's filtered. There's no guesswork in this. This is not do it yourself. You don't have to put them in the water and rehydrate them. They come already rehydrated in your vial, ready to go, and by a doctor, right? A lot of people ask, is this just another trend, right? Because we just hear about peptides in just the last few years, but peptides aren't new. They're just becoming more accessible. They've long been used in regenerative medicine, in performance optimization, and longevity research. We haven't heard about it because they weren't available to everybody. Really, like a GLP-1 just 3 years ago was $1,000 a month. And now they've lowered the cost drastically, plus come out with the telehealth network that makes it much easier to see a provider that knows what they're talking about. And another thing is like, well, do I actually need them? So if you've ever said that I'm doing everything right, but I'm not seeing results, or man, my energy just isn't what it used to be and I don't know what to do about it, or my body doesn't respond the same anymore, these can be very, very helpful in that process of being able to get back energy, being able to see the results, even though you're doing everything right. And then a lot of people ask, are they FDA approved? Well, the peptides sold at LEMD are not FDA approved because they are not a brand name drug. The only FDA approved semaglutide is Ozempic. So even though it's the same structurally and it's compounded in a 503A pharmacy under the strictest guidelines, they're not actually FDA approved. So just be aware of that. What results can I expect and how fast? Well, that really depends on you, right? Some people feel changes in weeks. Some people feel changes in days, honestly. And then others take a few months. It depends on what's going on. Maybe like with the BPC, your body is doing some deeper healing that you can't see. And it's going to get to that knee injury, but there's other things maybe that you can't see that are more important. So just being aware that it doesn't necessarily have to be what you're wanting it to heal, right? It's going to heal the most important things first. Are there side effects? There's possible mild side effects depending on the peptide, right? We talked about injection site irritation, some redness, maybe some nausea, water retention. Most of those are manageable. There's very easy ways to deal with it, and they're usually pretty mild, honestly. And then will this replace healthy habits? And do I have to be on them forever? No. And if you feel like this is going to replace your healthy habits, you're going to be disappointed. You really do need to do those foundational habits. So anybody that's avoiding changing and being able to make some good nutrition and making sure you're getting plenty of sleep and getting some movement, this is not for you, right? This is not for you if you're looking for quick cosmetic results only. It's not for you if you aren't willing to work with a doctor. We have the telehealth network, and they are the ones who create the prescription. And it's not for people who are wanting a quick fix. This really is slow and steady and supporting the body's healing process from within. And then the big one is, how much does it cost, right? Like I said, 3 years ago, your monthly GLP-1 cost was $1,000. Now it's 230 to 300, depending on which one you're getting. LEMD has really tried hard to bring those costs down and make it as affordable as possible. So kind of looking at, your morning coffee habit, right? You think it's a harmless coffee, but it's really not supporting your health. And, you get one every day and then you get a burrito or a breakfast sandwich, a few times a week. That's $228 a month. So just replacing those things that probably aren't supporting your health with something that is supporting your health is perfectly doable, right? If we look at pizza night or restaurant meal or eating out, one night of convenience food each week is easily half or more of a peptide program. So you really want to look at the fact what you're doing now, and is that helping fix your metabolism? Is it improving your recovery? Is it restoring your energy? Is it addressing root issues, right? So it's not about trying to add $300 a month to your cost, your expenses already. It's just about redirecting money from things that might be keeping you stuck to something that's going to actually help your body work again, right? If you really start looking, you're probably already spending this money on temporary comfort, and now you can spend that money on working for your body instead of against it. So I'm just here to educate you, right? We're looking at something that might be helpful, and so what's next, right? What's next? How do we move forward? So one way to do that is to just get a hold of me. Give me a call. Email me at drlaster at wagonwheellc.com, because we can get together via Zoom or in person at the office, whatever works best for you. Or you could go ahead and scan this QR code. That will take you directly to the website. And if you know what you want, you can order it and get started today. You're going to go through the doctors there, because I don't do any prescribing. Like I said, we just do the educating, and then you go get on there, order what you want, and then the doctor will look it over and either approve it or not based on the form, because there's going to be like an intake form that you fill out whenever you do it. And I just wanted to really go over what the LEMD difference is. There's no gray market here. There's no questionable peptides. Everything has been triple filtered and tested. There's no cellular garbage. What is on the label is what you're getting. It's all overseen by doctors who specialize in peptides. The gray market, the testing that's been done on that, over 77% of the stuff on the gray market, it isn't what they say it is. There's no certificate of testing to go with it. One of them was even just baking soda. I mean, I'm not willing to take those chances. I want something that has been tested, that I know that what's in that vial is safe, and I'm not going to have issues with there being, some contaminants in there. It also is all-in-one pricing. When you go to the website, there's not an extra charge for the doctor fee. There's not an extra charge for shipping. They usually ship most of them overnight, which, just that by itself is $100. And so you get it all at once. Just knowing that these are a tool that can really help you get to where you're going. So if you know what you want, scan the QR code, you can order it right now. If you don't and you're not quite sure, you can schedule that time with me. We can actually do a holistic wellness review where you do some journaling, and we can look at blood work and your energy and your cravings, and we kind of look at all of that. And then there's some recommendations that are based on exactly what's going on with you. So, or you might just need some clarifications on a few things. Either way, you can scan the QR code and order right now if you know exactly what you want, or give me a call or an email and we can get together via Zoom or in person. Have a amazing day and live life intentionally.